brand Dreams for You, what
Yep.
I would say dream or like life experience sparked the creation for the brand?
Uh, Man, the most important thing for me is like community and just spreading love amongst everybody. Really, I mean, as we can see, it's like whether people notice it or not, it's like a renaissance happening around the city. It's like there's so many talented people, um, big or small, whatever. There's definitely a lot of talented folk in our area, and even people who don't necessarily get the most looks. It's just all about spreading love and yeah, just building a community.
Okay. Um, are you the creative director and the videographer for your ads?
I do everything.
Okay. All right. All right. So all right. So with being in that position, how are
Mhm.
you like efficiently being the brand owner and the creator for the brand?
Uh, it's not easy. I will say that. Um, I'm not sure. You guys have a team, right? Or
Nah, it's just me. So I'm
so you understand.
I think I'm always like interested in seeing how other people do it because I know
Yeah, it's
people
like
say don't you need a team to do stuff. I mean, I don't necessarily
right,
think you do, but it is a
right,
hard
right.
job doing it all yourself.
Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's the creative part is fun. I mean, that's always fun for me. Uh, that's when I'm like at the most like at ease, at peace. Like I ain't gotta worry about nothing. All I gotta do is execute what's in my mind. Um, but I guess the hard part maybe is getting getting people to notice now, especially with like algorithms with Instagram and all of that. So that's kind of like hurting a lot of people, including myself. Um, but yeah, it's just drawing up, mapping it out. My first thing is always what's the idea? How do I want to market it? How do I want to market myself? And I try to be as creative as possible. So once that idea is out the way, and I know for sure like it's good because I don't ever want to put out anything whack. Once I feel like it's good and it's able to be put out, I'm gonna put it out and try to push it as much as I can. And luckily, I have a good group of people still follow it. Still ask me what's next, what's the next move, when is this dropping, whatever. So yeah, I'm lucky for that. But trying to beat the algorithms these days is annoying.
Yeah. Um, so I know for me personally, I do like pretty much everything for my brand because I just feel like nobody else is going to see it like the way I want to see it or like make
Right.
sure it comes out that way. For you, what is that? What is the purpose of you not like completely putting together a team to help you create this material or like bring it to life?
Uh, because it's my baby.
Okay.
When you put so much like time and energy and money into something, um, it's your passion. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard to. I ain't gonna say sometimes. For the most part, it's hard to discover and let alone discover trust. Uh, People that's gonna put in that same time and energy as you do into what you got going on. So that's really the whole difficulty in that. I would love to have people on board, um, especially with me. Like I'm in Atlanta right now, so I'm like going back and forth between Atlanta and Baltimore. But um, just to have people who can continue to spread, because I know if you add other people to what you got going on, then you bringing in a whole nother audience or new collective of people who may be just as interested, maybe just based off of them, but it helps and that's great. But at the same time, it's just meeting the right people, you know being able to trust in the fact that they're going to give what you give to
So being like a brand owner and just a business owner, period, or like being a creative, we all like have like these failures, um, and some of them are valuable. What would you consider like a valuable failure?
The algorithms.
The algorithms. Okay. How so?
um, I can say from the time that I had just started putting out like merch, which was in August, I believe. Uh, it was easier to get it out, um, and just push it because everybody be able to see it. Like it's not like I'm already have something that's like established. I don't really feel like I have something that's super established yet, but just having that ability to just get it to everybody is great. But now it's difficult, and I can tell with you can tell by numbers, you can tell by the engagement. Like it's different, you know, compared to what it was probably in the past summer. So that alone is like causing everybody to adjust. I'm sure it's definitely causing me to adjust. Like I'm back to the drawing board trying to figure out, well, how do I keep this going and not as many people be able to see it as much as you want. So that's like one of those things that I would consider a valuable failure because everybody got to like reinvent. I guess kind of reinvent how you brand yourself and how you market yourself. So, like I said before, it's annoying, but the interesting part is just being able to figure out how to bounce back from that. So that's probably the main thing right now.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I got one more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry not to cut you off. But also the self-confidence. And self-confidence, that's a big thing for me. Like, I got moments where I'm in my head constantly. And I'm probably my hardest critic. And if it's not up to par to where I want it to be, definitely hard on myself. So those two things there for sure is like very valuable to me.
All right. The ads I see for merch that you have dropped so far.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that they're brand ads, but they're also like not like directly connected to the piece that you drop. And not to say that in a bad way, like so like when people make ads, they like, all right, we got the new iPhone. I want to show you all the specs. These ads literally like are like little monologues. So what's like the strategy behind making ads for a product, but not based on the product?
Honestly, it's just me. It's just me having fun. Honestly, they literally have nothing to do with the actual product. Well, the last one did sort of, but it's just me getting ideas out of my head. I love the process of making them, and I think a big thing that I want to get into is like film, directing and stuff like that. So that's just me kind of showing the ability to do those things. Like I said, I do basically everything myself. So everything you see from it being shot to the concept, being edited, all of that stuff comes from me. So really, it's just me having a vision in my mind, and it's like it doesn't have anything to do with it, but it's just fun.
What I would say probably like a few things you've learned like creating those ads because they you can see the involvement of like whoever the camera person is, which is we know is you now, but you can see like that involvement as far as like storytelling, the way you're shooting it, different visuals. So like, what are like 3 things you learned like in the process of creating those ads?
One, continue to study. I'm constantly trying to progress and evolve, like you said. That is important to me. Because I definitely want to be better than I was last month, or last week, even yesterday. Really, I want to be better than that. So definitely studying what I'm doing, I pay attention to a lot of like commercials, the news, television shows, whatever, movies and stuff like that. I'm big on like cinematography, whatever. So I may see like a certain shot in like a movie or something, and I'm like, damn, I want to try that. Or I may so like for the hoodies or whatever, we did like a news broadcast type thing, and I'm like, this would actually be pretty dope. So let me go watch uh, a news broadcast, see how they use their angles, or voiceovers, whatever stuff like that. So I'm like just in constant, just watching, observing, studying. So that's one. Let's see, you said three, right?
Yeah.
Three.
And it could even be like little tricks or tips like you learn like through those processes as well.
Oh, definitely in editing, just playing around with stuff. Uh, in one of the ads, there's a video where it's like two of me in the video, and that's it. That's just playing around, like just testing out different features in the app that I use, and that was not easy either. Trying to get two different shots and put them together, and trying to make sure like the lighting add up and all of that stuff. Like it's a crazy process, but so yeah. So the first one, studying for me. The second is experimenting, just trying out stuff, trying out new things within like if you're somebody who is creating, like really doing your own stuff, just play around, um, see what works, see what doesn't. And third, third thing is, I know I say that I'm hard on myself, but at the same time, when I'm like in the moment, just be present, not forget. Like, yeah, there's a goal to this, there's an intention, but at the same time, don't lose why you're doing it. At the end of the day. If you love making art, whatever that is, whether it's music, drawing, painting, clothing, whatever the case may be, like just remember why you do it. So yeah, intention.
Was it any other ads that you just like winged it? Like you was like, I ain't really got a script. We about to go ahead and we just about to do it off of like.
Uh, honestly, all of them are definitely improvised.
Okay.
I'll have the idea. I'll have the base of the idea, but once I'm like in it, I might adjust and just kind of do something on the fly. So with the last ad, I had Ricky Jacobs join. I seen that he's been on the show. Shout out to my guy. That's like my brother. Um, when we did his part of the ad, he was like, "Well, you got a script for me? You want me to do something like this?" I'm like, "Nah, just kind of just do your own thing." Like I gave him the premise of what we was doing. And I was like, "Just go ahead and do your thing, and let's see what happens." And it turned out great. So yeah, most of the time, I got the base of it, and sometimes I may have lines, well, mostly for myself. Everybody else, I kind of give them just like the room to do their own thing. But for me, I might have something, and then it might change while I'm in it. So yeah, a lot of improvising, and just kind of doing whatever, trying to make sure this come out right.
The hoodie one is definitely my favorite one. I feel like that's the one that's like most relatable because it's like people do be taking your hoodies and then they be like your favorite hoodie too. They like choose the favorite one. Be like, let me just hold it real quick. I'm gonna bring it back. I just need because it's cold outside. Then after a while you be like, all right, they my good friend. They gonna bring it back. But then it be like, nah, I ain't get it. And then you see him like a picture, be like, oh, hold up, because that was the good one. But that was like I definitely agree, like strategy, because people were like, damn, I am missing a hoodie. These hoodies look good. I need to go get a new one. I need to get a new one.
That was actually inspired by my girlfriend because she steals damn near all the hoodies. So there we go.
Okay. See, at least they still like close to you. You ain't really gotta go searching for them.
Yeah, but it's still hard to get them back.
With the Untitled podcast, I believe it is.
Yes.
Give us like a synopsis. Like, what's the reasoning for it as well? Like, or creating it.
The reason for Untitled, A lot of people, some people know, a lot of people don't. I started out probably like 2014, 2015, um, blogging, and the especially when I see things like, man, I take that back. When I'm not noticing something, I try to bring it to light. You know, try something different. It's a lot of great media outlets, like yourself, uh, Working Title, Ricky, what he's doing with College Search and Liquid with Friends, a bunch of people doing their thing. But I kind of just wanted to get back to the journalist in me and just give like artists, not just artists, because once I kind of get back into the swing of things again, I'm going to step into different lanes with different people. But for the people that I've talked to so far, unfortunately, it's only three, but giving them the space to feel comfortable to talk. Like, I'm going to talk to people as an artist, but I also want to give people who listening a different perspective on the person that they are listening to or watching. You know, for them to be human just as much as them being an artist. Like, there's the last episode with John Wells, shout out to him, and there's a piece in there where he talks about his father had just passed sometime last year, and that was like a very, very vulnerable moment when we were recording. I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, damn, did I go too far? Like, I don't know if, you know, people really want to hear it, but it's important. And I want to be able to just like separate. Of course, everyone's heard of separating the art from the artist. And that's kind of what that embodies. Like, giving that portion of it, but also allowing them to just, be themselves.
Okay. If someone was to host your episode of Untitled, what are 3 questions you would want them to ask?
That's a good one. Damn, that's a good question. What is 3 questions I would want them to ask? Uh, Damn, that's a good question. Might have to come back to that one. That's hard.
We can come back to that. We can.
Yeah, I think about me is I don't really do too much like talking about myself, so that's why it's like difficult. Like, dang, what would I want somebody to ask?
Okay. All right. So during these times with like Corona times,
Mm-hmm.
I know gatherings are like essential to people because like human beings need other human beings as much as we probably don't like it. Um, what adjustments have you made or like modifications, whether you have or not, to like gatherings that are like essential to your well being?
Uh, Man, it's difficult because you want to be at these spaces or at these like events and stuff, but you also want to be safe. Because the last thing I need right now is to catch COVID. Anybody close to me catching it, especially from me being somewhere or whatever the case may be. Um, so I'm definitely real cautious of where I go. And if I do go, obviously I'm wearing a mask for sure. Definitely keeping my distance. I mean, I'll come around and speak, make my ways around. But most part, if I'm at an event or a gathering or someplace, I kind of just, keep my distance. Nothing personal, but, just making sure that I'm safe and, keeping my people close to me safe. So, yeah, that's important right now for me.
If not your Dream for You brand, what are you doing, or what would you do to make sure you're still making an impact on your community?
Run it back one more time. I'm sorry.
All right. So if not your brand that you're
Mm-hmm.
working on, you're doing like giving that content to people, what
Yeah.
would you do in place of that to impact your community?
Hmm. Honestly, at this point, I want to find low key ways to give. Uh, last summer I did like a flower giveaway, and that was great. It was definitely important for Black women. Shout out to all of my Black women, and that was awesome. It was a great experience, and again, that was just all me riding around all around Maryland, basically, um, to just for a common goal, like making sure that women are felt and heard, and that's just necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Because Black women do so much for us as Black men, and I don't think we acknowledge that enough. Um, but yeah, just small ways of giving. Like I know people right now that are doing taking in clothes and stuff, for the homeless or whatever and stuff like that. So, uh, stuff like that. Me personally, I just try to chip in whichever way that I can, so that it's not really about me. I don't want it always to be like a dreams find you thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
if there's somebody doing something great and there's a way that I can, help out, then I'm down for that.
Okay. All right. So you know how like when we do, well, like you got actors doing movies and stuff like that, or like if anybody do like an interview or anything, like go on tour,
Mm.
they got a private room and they got like their like specific stats. Like when somebody requested for them to be there, their manager was like, "Yo, he need to have a bowl, just a green
The
M&Ms or
riders.
something in there." If you were to be like a part of a movie, you going on tour, or anything like that, in your room, what has to be like your snack or your food that needs to be there?
Hmm. What do I need? Swedish fish.
You know what?
I don't know why.
I think me and you might, we might be here on a brainwave. Swedish
Yeah,
fish.
I don't know why, but I really love Swedish fish. Like that's like a big thing. Swedish fish, uh, Twizzlers. I can eat like a whole pack in like a day. So those two especially, and some water though.
Okay.
Gotta add some water.
Yeah, you got hydrate. Got hydrate. All right.
Yeah.
If you were to create a Dreams for You playlist, what are 5 artists or 5 songs you would have to include?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I like that. You know what? We're gonna keep it for the home folk. 5 artists. All right. Off the top of my head, let me think. Zadia, Miss Cam, shout out to her. She just put out an album. Uh, 4K Michael. There's two people I'm missing. There's so many different artists that it's hard to cut the five. Damn. Two more. And that's crazy because I'm listening to a lot of people right now, so I don't know why I'm dropping the ball. Bush Dawson and last one. Brandon Woody.
Okay.
Brandon Woody. He's pretty dope. I love Brandon. He's awesome.
All right. So for our closer, growing up, what was your favorite game that is not available on a console?
It's not available on a console. Could it be it's anything? Or
Yeah.
like I can name a sport too, or be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I was outside playing basketball every day.
Okay. All right.
that was me as a kid. Like I every day at the school, all right, fine, homework out the way, whatever. I'm going to go hoop.
Okay. Okay.
That's it for me. I'm
That's what's up.
good.
That's what's up. I was in that too. It was either basketball or like football. I don't know how we was playing football on the pavement, but we was making it work.
Look, you made it work. Either way.
I think our age was like we actually made it feel like a real like game. So like if our friends wasn't playing, they was on the sideline. They was like commentators. So like
Mm.
they'd be like the dudes with the headphones like, yo, he just cracked him like and this your fourth season, and I'm saying he doing his thing. So we definitely had like that. part of it.
See, that's tough though. That's the power of imagination. Like even being in the street,
Yeah.
you feel me? You got people being commentators and stuff like that. Like that's the awesome part. And I think what I try to tell the kids that I work with, like the stuff that you do, you already creating content based off like using like TikTok, whatever, all that stuff that they use now. I feel like an old man saying that. Or for me as a kid, like I used to play video games and I would be basically commentating with like along with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they use these things but don't realize the benefit of it, or that like people make money off of this stuff now. So that's just, yeah, like I said, power imagination, like just having fun. And nowadays you can use that for monetary value, whatever. Like, but it's just awesome. The brain can come up with.
It is. Well, thank you, boss, for being a guest today.
Thank you. I appreciate it for sure.